Hopefully, Diggity. God damn it! Curse you, production guys.
Not even when they help you, dude.
Let's just go.
Yeah.
No, but we have, of course, I mean, at Finem, we talked about it a lot, and we said their preferred time of ending the game is between 20 and 25 minutes.
There
They
we go.
dominated the early game. Like, they absolutely dominated the early game.
Yeah. I mean, they have the king of chaotic games, though. When you have Wisp on your team, you can take really strange and awkward fights, and you're gonna be at a very good place to just outfight your opponent. Because normally you start the fight with one guy advantage, because Tiny already killed someone, and then you have the movement speed, and you just... It's a great place to be in if you're gonna play chaotic Dota. So we'll see if they ban it out against them. And No Diggity does ban the Wisp. So Chen and Wisp are removed, and so is Lone Druid and Invoker. So not giving away that Koikwai Invoker. He does play it really well.
It does mean that Bounty Hunter is still in the pool, as well as Enchantress, 2 heroes that we didn't see banned out.
You know,
Or that we saw banned out in the first phase last game.
Very possible picks here.
we're gonna see that save Nature's Prophet then, eh? I mean, very good hero, as we've been talking about all day today. So.
Yeah, Skylark definitely knows how to play that one.
Right.
Yeah, he did good work, and this hero is definitely like strong in every scenario, right? It's good at ganking, it's good at pushing, it's good at stopping the enemy from pushing, because you have your ulti, you just stop them and you split push them. So it fits in so many different scenarios. It's a great opening pick.
Can I ask you a question about Nature's Prophet? What do you think about Scepter? Do you like that or don't like it on
I
Prophet?
honestly think the Scepter is great for him.
Okay.
And I don't even mind the Scepter into Octarine build. I think it keeps the enemy at bay so well.
Yeah.
And you can also 24/7 the Sprout on the enemy. You know, sad RTZ dreams.
True that.
But it's an item that allows you to do more damage in a team fight as well. Plus the stats you get can be great, just more tankiness for Nature's Prophet. Anyway, Beastmaster gonna be grabbed up here. I think this is actually a hero that Koikwai used to play as core way back. This is like a long time ago though. I don't think he's gonna be the one to play it here. It would surprise me greatly.
No, we've seen it on all different roles. We've
Yeah.
seen it on support, we've seen it offlane, we have seen it mid in the past as well.
It's versatile. I mean, there used to be a time when Fada played a ton of Beastmaster mid and so on. I think nowadays you can really get away with just putting it anywhere else but mid though, because mid you can have some stronger heroes.
Yeah. Well, you called it, Sheaves. There's the Enchantress, as you said. Been banned out pretty regularly, and the one time they don't ban it, that's going to be picked up along with the Lion, as we've talked about before. Also very versatile and good hero in this batch.
And they're also rushing through the bans here, so No Diggity giving some respect to the Queen of Pain of Thug, banning it out, and Doom and Bounty Hunter are the bans from Sparta. I like the Doom ban just because when you have Enchantress, you don't want her to get ulti from Doom. You need to keep her alive, and already she's gonna struggle with the Lion, so much magical damage. And Bounty Hunter is just, you know, it's a nuisance kind of hero. We've seen it deal some damage already today.
Well, any predictions for the next pick, boys and girls? What are we thinking?
I'm just thinking what No Diggity are gonna ban here. I mean, trying to see what they want to get rid of. Maybe they will get rid of the Tiny even when banning out the Wisp. Probably not though.
Yeah.
I mean, No Diggity, they have not won the previous game, so they're completely changing everything up.
They are. They're drafting very differently.
I'm never really sure if that's the play, because, I mean, why didn't the previous game work? Was it a draft issue? Not
It
that
could
much?
partly be.
Apart from the
I'm
IO,
not
but
going to
they
attribute
banned
the
that.
entire loss to it, but I do think they had a draft that was harder to play out. Because they relied on very long cooldown ultis. Like when you have Winter Wyvern ulti, you have Black Hole, you need these spells to work. Puck ulti sure is really low cooldown, but even so, you're still an ulti-based team. And this game, I mean...
Beastmaster's kind of ulti-based, but I guess it's a very short
yeah,
cooldown.
it's very short, even shorter than the Puck.
Yeah.
They're going to bow out the Void actually here.
That's an interesting ban.
Considering
Oh,
Nature's
well.
Prophet is already picked, it is a weird ban. But, yeah.
Pretty standard pick there on the Outworld Devourer. Not particularly too great against any of the heroes, but just a strong pick overall in this patch.
Yeah, they could do safe lane OD against Nature's Prophet and just have like OD Lion or something, and then have another hero go mid, because you have great kill potential.
Is this it? Wait a sec. Is this the Omni Knight game I've been waiting for?
Oh, please, no.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
don't give him his
I
Omni
can
Knight.
feel
Oh.
it. No, Omni's not too good against
Omni
Oracle.
is gonna get wrecked against
Not
Enchantress
too good
as well.
against Oracle, huh?
Or Enchantress.
Or
okay.
Enchantress.
Once I see the OD, I'm sorry, I play a lot of pubs. I expect the Omni to be coming out.
Yeah.
So come
I
on,
don't
baby.
blame you.
I don't know about having it against. The thing is, as you say, Enchantress, she doesn't care about anything.
Right.
The pure damage of her ulti, it will penetrate whatever you have. Yeah.
The bane of my existence. Guardian Angel and Repel.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna have
Still
a
can't
nuke.
save.
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Damn deer. Anyway.
Damn
Now
dear.
with Dragonlance.
How do you think Finem is gonna lane this? Because Enchantress, is she gonna go into the jungle?
I
Are we
think-
gonna see a dual lane
Okay,
off lane?
I believe that she's gonna start by grabbing a big camp, whichever one is not blocked and wherever she can go and get one, and then just really roam. Like, she's gonna start out by ganking whichever lane seems the most susceptible. It's hard to say now if she's gonna go mid or top, because I don't know where the OD is gonna
Yeah.
go. But
Who do you feel like she needs to gank? Is it the lion?
I definitely think it's gonna be between the mid and top, or the enemy safe lane and the enemy mid,
Yeah.
that she's gonna be moving. As for shutting down the lion, that's the easiest kill on the map. To try and find him and kill him with any creeps you have is quite simple. And gonna go with the puck here. This time Thug might be the one, or we're gonna see one more case of let's show him how to do it.
Yeah, that's some cruel stuff after that last puck game to then pick puck yourself. And the Marana pick. We haven't been
Yeah.
seeing too much of Marana.
And we saw the same thing in last series as well, where there was oh, you pick Oracle Sven, let us pick Oracle Sven. We'll
well,
show
you know,
and
they
they won
got
with it too.
right. They got pretty trash last time, so it's I'm sure that they are happy to be rubbing something into somebody's face.
Yeah.
Here. Drow Ranger banned out, I believe.
That's a good ban. Whenever the enemy team are rocking a lineup like this, there's Nature's Prophet, the Enchantress, there's too many Auras to really buff up. Plus the silence would have been pretty good for at Finem.
Yeah.
But Mirana is a curious pick here. It does add more disable. It's great with the OD and imprisonment. You should not miss this arrow. If you play Mirana even a little bit, you should not be missing those. And it's a great way to arrow the puck, in fact.
Right.
Because if you imprison him and then arrow so that it will be on top of him when the imprisonment ends, you can't phase shift that.
Yeah,
Of
because
course.
you spawn into the arrow. So it's a neat combo.
Easy lineup. There you go. All right, last pick. Any predictions here, folks?
Oh, it's hard.
We're missing all the carries, right? So
Yeah.
we're missing Era, Hero, and Madara. I mean, Gyrocopter's just been banned out. Slark is still in the pool. Is Slark a viable hero in either of the lineups?
I don't like the son of a Slark here. Maybe just the Sven, actually.
Juggernaut?
I think Sven or Juggernaut for no Diggity makes sense. At least Sven. But at Finem, I would say... I don't know. Maybe they will play something greedy like Anti-Mage.
Yeah. What about Spectre? We haven't seen any Spectres yet. Is it a bad Spectre game?
Not for Ad Finem.
We've seen a lot of Spectre bans, actually.
Yeah.
So this could be one of the... I think this is the first game where it actually makes it through.
Oh, man. Please let me be right about something once.
She might have gone through like once, but it could be a good game. Oh, gotta go with Tiny.
Oh,
Tiny it is.
Okay.
interesting. You were a little hesitant about the Tiny pick before. You said without the Wisp, you didn't think that it would be a good
without
pick.
the Wisp, he's not always as excelling, but looking at the lineup here, it comes down to what you pick. Because Beastmaster, Lion, OD, Mirana, all of them have disables.
Yeah.
The more disables you have, the more I enjoy seeing a Tiny, because it's just stun combos all day long, dude. And that's really what they need against a team with Puck, Enchantress. You know, if you have enough stuns, Oracle can't save people because you're just on his face.
Yeah.
Easy to shut them down.
Especially with the Marana too. I mean, easy.
What I'm
easy.
worried
Like
for
him.
though is how is the laning stage gonna go if Enchantress and Nature's Prophet bully the offlane too much? Tiny, I don't know. This will be curious.
Yeah.
But you have to call someone. No, you have to call for one team to take it.
Okay, if I'm gonna
You were,
call,
by the way,
I'm gonna say
you were
Finem.
both wrong previous game. I'm just gonna point that out
Okay.
once more because it can.
Hey, no,
Why don't
I
you do a
pointed-
prediction since we're
I
always
have
wrong?
not done predictions because
I am the host.
I
am
am
not.
not.
I was not
I did
wrong.
not have to.
No, I said that Finem would win.
No,
I
you
said
said-
they would win because they had a worse draft, was the way I phrased it though. But I did say they would win. But Finem are gonna win this one as well.
No, I asked you who would lose. They said you
Then
said
you asked the wrong question.
no. Last game I
Bad
asked
question,
you who would
Sheever.
lose, and you said, "At Finem had the better draft, so they will lose." That's what you said. I
Terrible
remember
question, Sheever.
because I said something about painting a sunny picture by the comments. So who do you think is going to win
lied
this
to
one?
me.
Come on, call it.
Okay, who's gonna win?
At
What do you
Finem.
think? At Finem? I agree. Yeah. Yep. Sorry.
Okay, they jumped ships. Let's find out if our commentators agree. It is time for our last game of the evening at Finem, taking on No Diggity.
Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the casting desk with myself, Odie, Pixel, and Draskell. We're here with the final game of the day of the final series at Finem up against No Diggity. Game is currently paused, but that'll give us some time to talk about this. We've got Thug with the BM puck pick. He says you couldn't make it work last game. I'm going to show you how it works this game. And then we've obviously got No Diggity trying to get the meta heroes, at least with the OD. But then they slip in something like the 5th pick Tiny. There's no IO this game, but they're going to try and show us that it can be done without the little ball.
Yeah, I think they wanted something that had a bit more tempo control. Like their first 4 picks led me to believe that they weren't really happy with not having a whole lot of control over what the Bane did last game. So they're like, let's not go for the jungler, let's not go the greedy route, make sure we secure our lanes first, and then pick something that maybe contributes to the team fights a little bit more than something like you and I were talking about, Slark and AM. You know, obviously mobile heroes, hard to lock down. But they go with the full-out aggression, and I like that. Considering the pace of the game that Advent played in the first one, it leads me to believe that they're just saying, okay, we can match your pace. You know, we don't have to play a slow game. We can play just as fast as you. And I feel like that lineup pretty much accomplishes just that. However, I will say that I do like Ad Finem's lineup quite a bit. I think Enchantress is one of the better heroes against OD, just in general. And I feel like Puck is a hard hero to gank, even for roaming Mirana and, you know, potential, I guess it's going to be Tiny versus Puck mid, right? Which I kind of have to think, and to some degree, is going to favor the Puck. So what can the Mirana do? It's going to be Yapsor handling that. Can we land some arrows? Can we get some early kills? This is a much more volatile support pick than what we saw in game 1 here for No Diggity.
Oh, that is, I mean, that's quite a stat there. 75% win rate in this patch with the OD Mirana combo.
Yeah.
Is that enough to allow Sin's team to win?
Well, since Cinderin isn't playing the Mirana, I would say maybe.
He's playing the Lion. I mean, this is a great hero for Sin.
I mean, I've never seen him play
You
Mirana,
can't miss
so...
2 of the can't miss 3 of the spells.
Oh, you can miss, trust me.
I'd love to see Sin miss Hex. Or finger. Actually, you could miss the finger if they dodge it. But it's, yeah. Let's see Sin. I'm ready for the Sin line. I think he's going to have a better game on the line than he did on the Wyvern.
Well, it's not hard to have a better game than the one he had in game 1.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying he might have. It might.
Maybe.
Maybe. Let's not give Sin
The
too
poor
much
guy, we're just like burying him right
No,
now.
I'm ready for Sin's.
Yeah.
He's turned up this game. You know,
All right.
First game, as we were saying, you know, No Diggity, very recent kind of team that's got together. Obviously, a couple of them back in the former State Gaming. Now they're trying something a bit different. But the first game, Ad Finem just really turned up. And this game as well, some of the players, you got to notice that they are on their key heroes. I remember back in the day, Skylark, I believe, and Madara both on a Conspiracy. These are the heroes they played, the Nature's Prophet and the like, and they go in for that push, and they pull it off very well against some of kind of the teams that weren't at a higher level.
Yeah, Lycan is really solid when you have Oracle to dispel the Roar. That's one of the biggest reasons, I think, of why they went this route. They could have gone for something as well like an Ursa, but I think against just the sheer amount of lockdown, maybe it wouldn't have been quite as strong. Because at least, even if you get stunned a few times, you still have the shapeshift movement speed, and you can stay on target. It's not like earlier when we saw like the Ursa and Ion Shell Surge combination where you have that hero who can back you up. This time, he's just pretty much relying on a shapeshift and maybe a well-timed false promise to make sure that he can stick on his target. So I do feel like Ad Finem have a solid draft here. And middle lane just going pretty heavily in favor of Thug right now, as to be expected.
Well, mid lane. Absol just coming in trying to trade a few hits here with Thug, but Spartan's down the edge. They'll be quick to chase the Mirana away. So just level 1 here. Oh, mid lane, quite far. Wow, he could be in a bit of trouble. Thug just getting himself back. No points into the rift yet, but the purple balls are flying through for Spartan, and now Skylark coming in with the rotation. It's a clean first blood here for the side of Ad Finem. At the same time, bottom lane, Kazu's getting forced back. But Ad Finem, great way to open up the game there with that pick off on the Tiny.
Furion once again proving to be a very strong hero for them, giving the extra vision, allowing the Ench to get that extra auto attack off that seals the first blood. So once again, Ad Finem off to the start that they are definitely looking for, but unlike the last draft that No Diggity had, I feel like this one has much more potential for not only comeback, but also early aggression. We were mentioning how difficult it was for them to really mount any kind of assault until that Enigma hit 6 and, you know, had his mech going at the very least. But this time, the really only item they need is just a blink on the Tiny, and then they can just go. And I think that's something that is very good against a team who wants to try to pressure you. And, you know, they say the best defense is a good offense.
Oh,
nice phase shift.
Yeah, casually dodging that. And Spartan, with his positioning here. He's got a couple of very potent creeps here with the stun and the burst damage from the combination. If he can move in, but the Hawk comes out and yeah, Kezu should be aware of this one. The boy even being chased. Getting it round here to chase back the Ench. And yeah, so looking to get in position. I mean, at the least, he'll probably be able to kill a creeper with the arrow, but they do want to try and find the Ench. And Spartan, I think he realizes he's in trouble. Looking for the stun, but the arrow coming through to stop that coming from the Centaur, killing it immediately. And Spartan will get punished. As No Diggity get themselves a kill onto the board, and Tiny as well. Koifer going to be the one to bagsy himself the goal from that.
And this whole time, though, Thug's just able to free farm away mid. He's almost level 5. It's 3 minutes into the game. They will end up losing the Satyr, probably. There's boars everywhere. All right. And in that regard, I think the Beastmaster is actually getting a tiny bit more.
Oh, that's
he
a
lands
big
it.
arrow. Goodbye, Thug. Yep, so hitting the arrows when it was needed, and as you said, Thug having a great time in terms of farm, and that's going to shut him back down.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you can throw like 5 arrows at mid, and you miss 4 of them, and then the 5th one hits, and then the mid player just instantly tilts, and they're just like, God, I hate playing against Marana. So
yeah,
hopefully Thug doesn't fall victim to that.
Might be able to find something top as well here. We can see him priming himself with the arrow.
This is a really hard arrow to hit, though.
I think he really, yeah, nighttime as well. It's going to be hard really to find the follow-up, even if he does hit it. And I think he's like, right, let's try and make Thug tilt a little bit. Heading back towards the mid lane. He's pulled it off once. Can he pull off again? Looks like he's still just trying to find the perfect position. You've got a hasted Oracle. Trying to cause Kezu a bit of dismay here on the bottom. Forcing the Beastmaster back. They really want to try and find this. Yapsor's still there on the sidelines. If Koifer can maybe lead in with an avalanche, set something up, forcing the puck to phase shift and then try and catch him off the back, they might be able to get this, but it's still a very hard kill, and I don't know if we're going to be able to see the Marana catch this puck out again with his arrow.
Well, the thing is, he saw the movement of the Marana because he walked through the ward vision near top, so he knows that he's on that side. So if you watch the positioning that he has, he's typically putting himself on the creep wave or a little bit below it, so that way the arrow has, you know, it's going to hit a creep before it hits him.
Yeah, and with this ward, full vision of Yapsor hanging around up on the high ground. Bringing a third hero around, it's going to be Sind on his Lion. But again, any kind of action that these guys look to move from this point is going to be very much noticed by the side of our Finem, thanks to that very nice ward popped down by the Ench. Sin himself just trying to get a bit of vision up for the team, but 2 for 1 at the moment. No Diggity having less of a rough early game as they did in the first game, but still losing out in terms of farm here overall to the side of our Finem.
Yeah, it's not a surprise though. I mean, Enchantress has a much easier time impacting the early game. You have a Furion, where in Marana you kind of just have to land arrows. If you land an arrow, it's going to be a great game. If you miss your arrows, you're pretty much just walking around. Like, sure, you add pressure to the middle lane player, but it's a puck. So this is one of the harder heroes to gank, because not only can you just walk out of the way, you can orb out of the way, you can phase shift. Like, there are multiple ways for you to avoid getting hit by that, so.
That's it. He's going to find MNT here. No follow-up. Bottom lane, so much space here for this Lycan. Being backed up by the Nature's Prophet. They'll try and look for a tier 1 push here. Get the momentum flowing. And this should be a tower for the taking here. It's going to fall fast. Got no Diggity sending Sind in at the moment, but he's on his own. Trying to slow us down with a stun, but he's got to be a little bit careful here, as they have got an Ench moving forward as well on the side of our Finem. Arrow's going to be threading the needle here as they step aside, and Finem will be able to find themselves this tier 1. Not anything that No Diggity can do to stop this kind of this 4-man push coming out for the side of the Radiant.
Yeah, it's not really it's not one of those things where their team is really well equipped to deal with deep push right now. Like, they kind of have Beastmaster axes and, well, Avalanche Toss. That's pretty much it. So wave clear, not something that No Diggity have in abundance. Not really too hard to push in that tower with that amount of creeps. It's also one of the other strengths of Finem's lineup is they can pretty much do that to every single outer tier 1 before the Tiny has Blink, because that's going to be the first point where Koifer can say, okay, we're fighting right now, you know, and just jump. Obviously, there's no Roar yet, there's no Finger, Cinderen's just hit level 5. So it's still going to be a little while before No Diggity have everything that they need. And during this time, add Finem with a very early Roche call here. It's very hard to stop, though, for the same reason that stopping that outer 2 tower push was difficult. It's going to be hard to stop this, too.
Let's see if they even try and give it a go. Koifa is prime. Cinderen keeping himself over to the other side to look for a different angle to jump in from. And it looks like it's going to be enough to make Ad Finem think twice about going for this Roche. Still here hanging around, no Diggity. Throw an arrow forwards. It's going to get the vision. They know that the Oracle's there on the high ground, and Ad Finem are sticking about. That won't be enough for them to... Well, they can't really think about taking it themselves. At the least, they could just try and stop Ad Finem from going for it. Sin stuck in the pit. The Yapsor's there to cover him. Adder's sending in the Wolves. Oh, jeez. Thug. Looks like he was just playing around with Koifa there. Does get himself away on a slither of HP. 8 minutes in, 2 for 1. Certainly a slower pace than what we saw in game 1, and that might just favour the side of No Diggity this game.
Yeah, I think they're more reliant on their core items than Ad Finem in this match. Like, obviously having the puck blink is going to be great, but he's actually opted to finish Tread, so not even really going for the brown boots straight into blink build, whereas Koifa is doing the opposite. He just wants to control the tempo as fast as humanly possible, so he just like brown boots straight into blink. And I think that is actually going to give the advantage a little bit to No Diggity, like you were saying, just because then, you know, Puck, Oracle, Furion, Enchantress, these are all like Avatos kills. They just don't have a lot of health. I mean, Enchantress, what, 500? Puck? He's got actually almost 1,000, so maybe he can live if he gets a well-timed phase shift, and then the Oracle and the Furion still pretty much just flop over. So with that being said, I think that now is still the time, you know, Ad Finem, they're just trying to pressure as much as they can before those core items really do come up, and before they have to start worrying about Finger of Death, and then Mirana ult on top of that, which can also be annoying. Just another avenue of initiation for No Diggity. As Roshan's dropping super fast.
Cinderen maybe looking to lead in, but he's been sprouted. We'll get the stun out, but Cinderen's going to be the first casualty here, and Aegis is in the hands of Koifa. Koifa was able to pick it up, got the snatch off here. Will go down once, but this could be a big snatch with Koifa if they're able to continue to take this fight. Blinking forward, looking for Skylark. He's going to get it, the final punch, and the toss forward. Error, forcing back the Thug, and that was pretty much perfect there for No Diggity. They snatch the Aegis, and they take 3 kills away from the side of Ad Finem. Great play there from Koifa.
Yeah, that was really nice. Cinderen bought back, not really... like, the importance of the fight was enough to where I feel like buying back was okay, but unfortunately his buyback in particular didn't result in much outside of being able to place a very deep ward inside of the enemy woods, so that's pretty much the only downside that they had. Otherwise, yeah, it was a phenomenal team
fight. He can combo this one, and he's going to do it straight in onto the Oracle. Bam!
See ya.
Where's your false promise now? Absolutely destroyed.
Yep. Now this feels like a lot more comfort zone, really, for No Diggity. I mean, obviously I haven't seen a lot of the games that they've played because their team is like just formed, but this seems like something that they are much more well-versed in than the lineup that I saw them run last game. Like, they seem to have a pretty good idea of what they need to do at any given point. Their supports are able to actually contribute, like the Lion and the Mirana, like Yapsor just walking around, even though he only landed like 1 or 2 arrows during the early game, it still manages to put him at like Arcane Boots, he has Smoke, he has Urn, he has all the tools that they need for him to be able to take fights. And he's actually opted out of skilling Moonlight Shadow, which is a little bit weird, but I suppose at some point you kind of have to assume the enemy team's going to have sentries pretty often when they're pushing. But I just pretty much consider it like a free smoke, you know what I mean? Like, you can use it to bypass vision rather than just take the direct engagement, but he has chosen to opt out of it here.
See what Koifa can find here. He's smoked up, he's looking for someone, and he knows the Skylark says the smoke comes off, or he tries to guess with the Avalanche. Won't find the initial one, but if he can get the toss off, oh, he blinks over the crowd, but it doesn't matter, he still manages to get it there.
Hawk vision, man. Hawk vision OP.
And off the back of that, Skylark, he's got nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. He has got a big bad wolf coming through. Avalanche back up in a second. Koifa, can he get it off before he dies? He does get it, but he does go down. And the toss won't be enough to kill Skylark. So great play there from the Lycan, coming in time to help out his Nature's Prophet body. And they punish the Tiny there, and No Diggity, they just weren't in position to back him up. And I tell you what, I mean, Yapzor, he has been punishing these Ench creeps each and every time. He's hit a good 5 or so of them with the arrows.
Spartan?
Got the heal off into
Okay.
Cinderin. He knows how to give a man a finger.
He really, really does. Need to remind him to keep it PG-13 in the future.
7 for 3.
Yep.
No Diggity. This is a different story to Game 1. Game 1 was an absolute train wreck. Game 2, they're holding their own. At the same time, at Finem, they're not falling behind by a huge margin.
Yeah.
By no means. They're still finding the objectives.
It feels to me like Ad Finem still have that lineup where they have different avenues of play. Like the biggest issue why No Diggity's lineup fell so flat is because they were a team fight oriented lineup that couldn't team fight. And they had a puck mid on top of that who was behind. In this game, they have two very good cores in the Furin and the Lycan who can transition and be that physical damage dealer that you really need. So you're always going to be able to utilize Coil. You're not waiting for these big cooldown ultimates that you just need to drop. You can just send in your Lycan with Shapeshift and he's just going to go to town. Now with that being said, I still feel like No Diggity have a pretty good lead right now, just in terms of how they're controlling the map. And they are kind of forcing Ad Finem to be together here, which I don't think is what they want, because Thug is only like 370 gold away or something like that from getting his Blink Dagger. And that's going to be huge for them.
Well, let's see if they fight into this, No Diggity. Quaitha, is he going to find the enemy to blink in? The arrow catching out Skylark in the midst of it all, but is that enough for No Diggity to close in? Looks like it's not going to be the case. In fact, Kezu just gets trapped up and now he's got to run. The impetus flying through. Kezu's still alive as he jukes out into the trees, turns around, throws out the axis, will go down. Quaitha blinks out. The Dream Coilstone duel does catch him out here. Ad Finem looking to try and chase down for more. Error TP in, Skylark TP in and onto Error. Error just turning around now with the Arcane Orbs. Arrow comes through, will catch out the Necro unit. The Hex Transitor onto Thug, throws out the stuns as well, but the False Promise keeping the puck alive here. Error trying to get as much damage out as he can, but Madara doing so much damage now. The like, and he found himself a double kill. They do end up losing the Thug puck, but Quaitha, can they get this kill here? The side of Ad Finem, it's going to be a big one. Skylark, MNT, Amadara chasing him down. Quaitha. And he get the blink off in time. It's going to be off cooldown. He will get it. Oh, he actually blinks back in. He gets the toss. The avalanche off. Oh, he tries to go for the blaze, but he pays for it with his life. I mean, he got the Oracle kill, but going back in to lose his own life, maybe not worth it. And it's a messy fight, but it does favor the side of Ad Finem in terms of numbers.
I think the toss put the Lycan out of range of the avalanche or something? Because it didn't look like Madara got hit by the stun, right? He just got tossed back. So I think if the stun hit him, he would have killed both, but still, going for the big play, not quite getting what he wanted out of it, but still getting something, you know? Like, he could have made the choice to just blink away and live, but he made the choice to go out like a man. And you have to respect that, right?
Looking at elsewhere on the map, how the items are going. Thug, he's pretty much got his Blink Dagger. 15 minutes in, yeah, it's not the fastest at times, but it's still going to come at a very relevant point of this game where we've seen their fights, they've been pretty much full 5-on-5s, and puck's positioning just getting ever more important. And if he can find those perfect silences and Dream Coils, it's going to be huge. Quaitha, this man, he's going in very aggressively on his own, across to the Radiant's half of the map. And it looks like it's going to be the Shadow Blade build here from Quaitha after the blink.
This is the Bambo special, right? Blink Shadow Blade Force Staff. We're going to see something like that, just space creating, letting the OD do most of the heavy lifting in terms of damage.
I mean, he's in very deep.
He's dead.
Hey, goodbye, Quaitha.
Okay.
Oh.
No,
Oh,
not
no.
like this.
Oh,
Not like this.
Really?
That's what we like to call no detection gaming,
All
boys.
right.
Been denied.
Okay.
That's when you report your ench.
Oh, well, I guess, yeah.
Why no dust? Why no sentries? Noob support report. Nah, but in all seriousness, you really just need sentries and dust at all times playing against Mirana. Like, you just need it.
I think Quaitha can't quite believe his luck there. He's like, guys, I didn't die.
That's like when you're in that pub game and you're like, thank God the supports didn't buy detection because I was mega dead.
And the team was probably about to flame him.
Yeah.
What are you doing over there? And he's like, dodged the
Space
bullet.
created, boys.
He didn't want to get in Sin's bad books.
Yep.
Oh, look, here comes half the zoo here. Pushing this bottom lane. They'll get the tier 2 and they're moving in for a tier 3. See what the counter push is like from No Diggity.
Their deep push is actually pretty bad. I mean, Axes, Avatos, Looks like it'll be enough for now. I don't think that Finem want to push the issue too much. They're going to go for a pick here, though.
Arrow. Silenced up. Tries to turn with the right clicks. No Arcane Orb's going to be coming out from this boy. His mouth kept shut. And Astral himself here.
He's got Blink.
Oh.
That orb timing was so close to missing, actually. Like, when that happens, you have to time it so the orb is pretty much over the Astral when he comes out.
Yeah.
Because if you do it as he comes out, he'll always be able to blink. So that was very nicely timed there by Thug.
Smoky work here from the boys. And, well, it's going to be Spartan. Actually just spelling that from the high ground. And now it's the shortest smoke there of the patch.
Sometimes you go for smokes and walk high ground and get really sad. It's a common occurrence, actually. But, you know, no Diggity. They're still not doing too bad. There's a wolf scouting the pit here from Finem as well, so they'll have a pretty good idea when Roshan's going to be up. I believe this wolf should see it, right? It's going to be really close. It's also Hawk Vision, so both teams are going to know.
I mean, the Tiny with his build is, do you think there's any reason for him to finish off the Shadow Blade into a Silver Edge before going for something in another slot? Just so he has kind of, maybe just for the damage reduction.
It's okay against the Lycan.
Yeah,
it's okay. The biggest thing is, in this game, I think he just needs to be able to get multiple combos off.
Yeah.
So think like Bambo Tiny. That's what I assume he's going to be doing this game.
Talking about Tiny, top left.
Yeah.
He's looking for a pick off with the Shadow Blade. Oh!
He doesn't have a TP.
He doesn't want to. Oh, hello, blink, blink.
Yeah.
Bit of blink on blink action there.
Yeah, he wanted the Shadow Blade hit because otherwise there's no way he gets that kill. Even with the Shadow Blade hit, I think it would have been close because there's 12 stick charges and whatnot, so it's a lot of health to get through. Still a very tense game. Roshan is being scouted out here. Pings ahoy. Finem kill Roshan super fast. Like, you need to be here already, honestly, if you're no Diggity.
There we go. Quaifa, this time he does get off the Shadow Blade hit and with the combo. More than enough.
That's a good pick. They could force this fight now, I think.
Yeah, they could definitely go to the pit. With the Moonlight Shadow, they're looking to lead in. Arrow comes through, so only going to take down the ranged Necro unit. Murderer, he's going to get the ult off, and he's going to start to fight with the Roar, controlling him, and he got bashed up as well, but the false promises there, allowing him to fight through this, to drop the Dream Call. Status Eclipse comes out from Arrow, they've already found the Enchantress, can they find more? Kezzy's still alive here, but he's going to be, it's just a cleanup. Only the Puck left alive, and Thug's got to escape. Big fight there from the side of No Diggity. The fact that Arrow's able to live through it all, and the fact that they controlled the Lycan at the start, the false promise just wasn't enough to allow him to get the damage out. Now Thug, he's been chased down by Quaifa. And that's more than enough space for No Diggity to finish off Roshan themselves. Now 14 to 10, 20 minutes in and out. Quaifa getting the catch out onto this Puck, and Thug, he's out of mana and he's out of luck. Quaifa now to killing spree as he picks that up with a Shadow Blade touch. And this is certainly No Diggity in the lead now. 15 to 10, and with all things looking up for them over the past 3 minutes.
The Furion pick was very important, obviously. Like, taking that fight 4v5. I don't know if he actually... No, he had buyback. I feel like it would have been worth to buy back for that. Like, that engagement has so much implications in the next, like, 10 to 15 minutes of this game. Giving away Aegis advantage, like, getting your team pretty much wiped off the map. That is a huge loss for Finem, and they were supposed to be the ones dictating the tempo. Like, that's why you pick Lycan with this kind of lineup, is you want to get team fights going, you know, utilize the puck coil, get kills with, like, super high single target damage, push towers, and just keep, you know, dictating the pace of the game. That's where Finem want to be. But by not buying back and contributing to that team fight in any way, it just puts your team at such a big disadvantage for a fight that's so important. I really think that maybe he didn't have enough when he actually died. Like, I wasn't sure how much extra money he farmed, but he had like a few hundred over what he needed. So maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But either way, still Finem looking to pressure here, not wanting to lose control of the game.
And as we said earlier, the pushing power takes these towers at a pretty insane rate. Trying to set up something with the Moonlight Shadow over on the side of No Diggity. Can they catch anyone else off the back of this? Looks like it's going to be a clean push from Finem. They're in, they're out, just like that. Tier 2 down. So the Tier 2's on. All lanes gone here for the side of No Diggity. And maybe holding on in terms of kills, but in terms of map control, it's definitely kind of Finem in the lead.
Yeah, for now. But after taking that objective, I think that the ones who are going to be taking mostly the initiative will probably be No Diggity. Like, you can always look to go late game with an OD and a Tiny, but the Tiny is not going for like that. Oh, he is going back for Negatives, okay. So going back for Negatives, he will be going for more of the position 1. I thought he might go like full Bambo Tiny, but he's going to opt for more viable late game, which I think is fair enough. Just having that extra wave push against heroes like Enchantress and Furion, making sure that you can kill the trees, push the lanes out while the rest of your team are not really proficient at it. This kind of just solves one of the issues that we were actually talking about earlier in the game.
Tower has fallen.
No Diggity will be able to find a tower of their own, and now looking for more. They've certainly got a hell of a lot of pushing power, as you said, once the axe is done, Tiny even more so. At Finem, now looking to force back the side. They'll fortify to hold the tier 2. Already Kezu coming back as well as Cinderin. Sin, seeing if there's any chance of getting initiation, but playing it safe. They leave Koifer up top, and he will be able to find that tower, get himself back. An error. Well, that's a bold blink in.
He's got Aegis,
He's
though.
jumping straight for it. Yeah, he does not care, and he's trying to fight this. He's going to get bursted down incredibly quickly. It's his second life, but already they've lost the Lion. Now with the Dream Coil onto 2. And with Skylark just dishing out the damage with the help of Spartan on his edge. That's 2 dead. Yapsor leaps away, but they're going to be able to change this. Oh, impetus. Oh my
home
goodness.
in trouble.
Yeah, you're going to need to buy back No Diggity if you want to hold on to this lane of Rax. Koifer coming in with a combo. Sanity's Eclipse coming through from Era, trying to get onto Thug, but already just forcing back these guys. Koifer taking so much damage from the impetus. The false promise keeping Matter alive, and it's going to be enough to keep him out through this, but the Arcane Orb from Era is enough to take him down. And now it's going to be No Diggity trying to force them back here. Era can't quite get the right delivery. Yes, he can in time. Is it enough? No, 21 HP. Spartan continues to live. Looking for the Dukes. Oh, Era's been duped.
Is under attack.
Oh, he's not going to find Ench by the looks of it. Spartan hiding in the trees.
He's
praying.
fine. All right, let's see. Beastmaster's dead, so there's no Hawk, which means that he should be able to TP out pretty safely here.
Sin, how good are his Spidey senses?
No, there's no way.
No.
He's out of here.
Yeah.
That is such a hard spot to... because it was nighttime,
Yes.
that's what makes it super annoying, because as soon as he goes into fog, he probably assumes he's going up the hill to run down. Like, that's why he took the pathing through the trees, and then realized, wait a minute, he could have either TP'd or...
Oh.
That man did.
He is indeed, and this is a smart TP out. Skylark, can he get the goal?
If that was a Maelstrom head, he would have killed him. We're going to blame Ice Frog.
Very, very, very close stuff there from the Tiny. Players like this, though, they're keeping him at the top of the board. 12,000 net worth.
It's still anyone's game. That's
It really is. I mean, we've seen Finem's push.
Yeah.
And they can take fights.
The other thing, too, is they forced No Diggity to commit buybacks. So committing buybacks in that situation, applying that much pressure, still almost getting the tier 3, and that's after the enemy team like wiped you at a Roshan fight and took Aegis away. That just shows how much fight left they actually have in them, which Skylark does not have fight left in him.
I mean, Koifer, left, right, just finding these pickoffs onto the Nature's Prophet. With this Shadow Blade, it allows him to do so, and he's always got the burst damage to bring down this MP at this point. So
Right.
it's making Nature's Prophet's game very hard to play at this point.
I find it very interesting that Koifer is actually going for BKB. If I recall correctly, Thug was going for Aghanims.
Yes, he was, yeah.
Yeah, and Aghanims against BKB is super good for obvious reasons. And because the Tiny has no Wisp, like, it makes it even harder. So you get like 4.5 second stun when you break that tether during BKB duration. And plus, Lycan doesn't really care that much about BKB, and nor does Enchantress. I feel like it's one of those items that you buy because you want to not get like silenced or something like that, and you don't want to get disabled by the Oracle. Like, Disarm is probably the single biggest reason. But outside of that, it just feels like you're buying it against the supports, and that's the kind of BKB that you never want to buy, when you have to buy it against just supports.
I mean, at the same time, I guess, we've seen he's got enough damage to find these key pickups,
Oh,
but you feel that something like maybe an AC would have been better for...
Well, it's not
dealing with
necessarily
AF,
it's not necessarily a better item. I just think this is a situation where you don't want to have to buy BKB, but you buy it because it's a necessity.
Yeah.
It's not something that you're going to feel good about. It's like, oh yeah, I got a BKB and like no attack speed with my my Aghanims build. But yeah, I think it is a necessary evil. Oracle Fate's Edict is just a little bit too strong, I think, without the BKB.
Warriors of the wood.
Koifer is going to try his luck again, but this time Skylark does have backup if Koifer goes for this. And I think he realizes, and he does indeed. They do get it off, and they'll find the Dream Call onto Koifa. They've caught him out on the sidelines, and Koifa trying to move him with the combo. Is he going to find a kill? And does pay of his life, 70 seconds.
That kill is so much gold,
on
actually.
the sideline. Yeah, great awareness there from the boys on Finem.
2,000 gold swing from 1 kill. That is actually bonkers.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Ascenderin does not have Blink yet either. It's 27 minutes in. I know he's playing a hard 5, so it's a little bit more difficult for him to get that farm, whereas Yapzor has been farming away.
And there we have it. I mean, with the fact that they know Tiny's down for this amount of time.
He doesn't have buyback either.
Yeah.
40 seconds is a lot of time.
See if they can, the sudden Diggity can hold off this push of 5 with just the 4 of them. Gonna need to. I mean, Era decently farmed on the OD and has got the Sanity's Eclipse available.
They don't have Glyph either. They could Rax here, actually. If they want to go all in. They might just back, though, because they know that the Tiny's going to be up soon.
He's going in. Madara pops the ult straight onto the Rax. Kesu gets the roar off. Jumping with the Sanity Eclipse. Era on the back lines with the Shiva's Guard as well, trying to work through them all. Has to Astral himself, though, as he's taking too much damage, and he may just go down. Era, it will fall, and that's going to be 2 of them down. As Synderen is also a casualty of this fight. Koifa is now back up, and with the Shadow Blade, he's going to move in, try and find a pick-off of some sorts, and he's not going to go for it.
Okay, that was definitely a kill. I am mega surprised that he did not go for that. The thing is, the OD ulti hit pretty much their entire team, so nobody is going to have mana to do anything. The Lycan was almost dead. He was completely out of mana. Thug was the only person who had anything up, and he was well out of there. I think he very easily could have gotten away with it, but I suppose not having vision is one of the biggest factors in taking team fights like that, especially when you know that you just lost a lot. It's very hard to justify going for a support in that situation, so I can respect that decision, but...
I mean, I guess they lose the fight, but they don't lose the racks. They do hold on to those.
They almost lost it.
It was close.
It's only going to take one more of those pushes for them to lose the racks. So Koikva's been kind of like this space creating / one position Tiny who's been going around with Shadowblade trying to find picks. But because they figured out what he's been doing, and not really anyone else on the side of No Diggity can really do the same thing, it's like, who are you looking to pressure the map now? We are going to see a smoke here.
Is this going to be... how long are we seeing on the Roche timer?
It's
very,
up super
very
soon.
shortly.
Yeah, and there's already a Hawk over the pit as well, so...
Yeah, if they can get a pick off and then Roche and then they can push, that's going to be infinitely harder for the side of No Diggity holding on to. They've lost Sind, and they may lose more as well. Yapzor, eyes on him from Skylark, Madara and Thug and Spartan coming in and pop the Greaves. Yapzor gets himself off to the side, but the Dream Coil's dropped. Only going to catch out Kezu here, but that's a bigger kill here potentially than Yapzor. He'll get defensively astraled. Yapzor trapped up in the tree line. Koifa trying to fight with the BKB. Ketsu gets the roar onto the Oracle, stopping him from being able to save anyone on the team, but he's still alive. He lives through the initial burst. They'll manage to combo down the Lycan. And off the back of that, they may be able to find more. Astral onto Spartan. Koifa goes for the combo. One more right to the toss. It should be enough, and the Arcane Orb flies through. No Diggity hold on to their base, and they do take the fight.
Man, watching the Lycan during that fight was so painful. He actually doesn't have a Quelling Blade, so the Sprout saved Yapzor. Like, that Sprout straight up saved his life. Otherwise, one more hit from the Lycan would have killed him. He spent like 5 seconds looking into that Sprout, and I think he even used the mana burn from the creep to deal extra damage. But because of that over-aggressive dive, now opens up an opportunity for No Diggity to get Roshan. Like, that was a disastrous fight, honestly. Like, because of the implications that it had. At the time, the Smoke, Ad Linim, they want to pressure, make sure that No Diggity aren't going to be the ones going for Roshan, but because of their over-aggression, they pretty much ensure that the enemy gets it here. And this is at a stage in the game where the OD is starting to become really scary. Could be picking up like a Hex or Moonshards next, and that just makes him a total monster. Like, your Enchantress is not going to be able to live against him anymore because Moonshard attack speed just offsets the entirety of Untouchable. Or if he goes for the Hex option, that's just one more disable that your Lycan has to worry about. Or, you know, your Oracle, he gets blinked on by the Tiny and the OD and he just implodes. Like, what is he going to do against that?
I mean, as this game goes on, how would you say No Diggity are going to be able to deal with this kind of just imminent pressure that the Nature's Prophet's going to be applying across the map? Is it...
I really feel like they wanted to have won the game by now. Like, this is already well over, I think, this lineup's what you would call peak, I guess, in terms of effectiveness, because Puck does not really become that much better than he is right now. Like, maybe you buy a Hex, maybe you have like a Shiva's or Refresher or something crazy like that, even in the most farm puck situations, he's just not a damage dealer. He doesn't really do anything against a hero like Tiny or OD during the late game outside of control them a little bit. So that hero is going to fall off pretty hard. You have a BKB Nature's Prophet with Maelstrom, so he's obviously going to do a respectable amount of right click, but in this game, it's too hard to split push non-stop by yourself.
Oh, Quaifa's in. Going for the combo. Takes down Oracle. Looking for Thug as well. The Craggy. Doing some work here. Quaifa's just going to go for the straight TP out.
Yeah, good choice. But as far as the Radiance lineup is simply put past what I would call its theoretical prime.
Moonlight Shadow here, but there is a sentry down as well as the Observer. They know what's coming in, and it's going to be hard for No Diggity to catch anyone off the back of that as Ad Finem play it safe. And they won't find anything today. And Sin, he's still dreaming of that Blink Dagger.
One day.
One
Big
day.
aspirations, you know? Yeah, take it one step at a time, one gold at a time, because that's probably how he's going to get to it.
I mean, Ara, when's he going to spend his gold? He's got 5.2k.
I think he's debating on what to buy. Hex is really good. Moonshard is good. Even, you know, things like Octarine aren't even that bad, honestly. Just depends.
Oh, what's he picked up? What's he picked up?
Let's see.
Oh, it's going to be the Hex.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I mean, it's really open in terms of item choices for him. I just figured Moonshards might be the choice because with Aegis, it allows you to itemize in a more aggressive manner, but Hex is obviously very good as well. You can use it on the puck to stop initiation. You can put it on the Oracle, kill him.
I mean, do you go all in or do you have to save for buyback? He's kind of, I guess he's not picked
For
up
OD?
the ultimate. Yeah.
He doesn't need to save for buyback. I don't feel, because, well, having Aegis gives you enough time to farm for the buyback, but as it's not finishing the item, I guess he will anyway. It's a very safe thing to do, for sure.
This is, without a doubt, I mean, it goes without saying, this is a much more hopeful showing here from the side of No Diggity compared to game one.
Yeah.
As this match, it is indeed them with the lead. And he goes all in, yeah. Hex now done on Era. Ready for the next fight. And the next fight, I mean, Ad Finem, they've been desperately trying to break the high ground, but with 35 minutes in, and with this lineup, as you said, if you're not able to find yourself a set of racks, it's certainly not going to kind of the plan that you kind of intended to run when you went with this draft in a game.
Certainly not. And it's not going to get any better the later the game goes either. That's the unfortunate part. When you have a core like Puck, who hits this mid-game timing and wants
Skylar.
to... Uh-oh.
He's going to have some PTSD in a minute.
Oh, no.
Oh, not again. Goodbye.
Not like this. Well, Quakefa's got a lot of farm now. I think this is a really good middle ground, though. We talked about in the previous game how we didn't like seeing him on a hero like Puck, or at least I didn't, because I felt like the hero wasn't greedy enough for him. But this is kind of that hero who can do a lot on his own, still farms, and still transitions into a very strong core.
I like it.
I'd say this is probably one of the best types of heroes to put Quakefa on. You know, Queen of Pain is very similar in that regard. You spend a lot of the time walking around looking for kills if you can find them, once you get your Orchid, things like that. And that was obviously one of his most notable heroes back when he was playing a lot more. And now that he's made his way back into a team, I wouldn't be surprised to see them pick it for him in the future, because I know he likes it quite a bit.
Working for that AC now. And I mean, you're just looking at the items, and the progression is just much better now for the side of No Diggity in the rate that they are farming. It's going to be very hard for Ad Finem to really catch up. They've got to rely on trying to take some of these objectives, some of these racks, but as the time ticks on, as we keep saying, it's going to get harder and harder for the side. And just trying to work our way towards that Aghanim's. It's about 1k gold away, Quaifa. Let's see what I can find here. DD, Shadow bladed up, but the pings are coming through here with the vision from Ad Finem. They know what's going on. So it's going to be unlikely that Tiny catches anyone else out in this occasion. And yeah, just TPing away. Waiting for Ad Finem to do something. And that's the Ad Finem, they need to do something, but it's going to be unlikely that No Diggity let them get away with any of the plans at this point.
Well, that's kind of why I was saying the lineup is not really built for the ultra late game.
Yeah.
Normally you look to Theory and you say, okay, we have the split push game. We can go for Rat. But the reality is you can't, because the Shadow Blade and the Tiny makes it super dangerous for Skylar to go to any lane on his own. And with Beastmaster vision as well, like the Hawk just goes to the lane that he's in, runs down the tree line. It sees you juke no matter where you're going. You have no mobility items. You're basically looking at you need to preemptively BKB and teleport out, or you risk death. That is basically how he plays this game. And with the addition of the Hex on the OD, that's another hero that he has to worry about. And there's Moonlight Shadow. Good luck split pushing against that. That is an absolute nightmare for a Furion.
Well, they are grouping up on the bottom half, Finem. We'll see how far they're able to make it here with this 5-man, but immediately they've got to send people back to defend against the pressure on the top lane. The creeps are starting to come through. Cinderin, he's got his blink.
All right.
He's done it. 37 minutes in, Sin.
Better late than never.
Good job, Sin.
Brilliant.
I love it.
So now he can...
He's making me proud. Good job.
He can help initiate.
Charles Nelson.
I guess the next thing is... What timing is this puck going to have on his Hex? Because I think it's going to be really important if he actually has one for the next team fight.
Oh yeah, he's got it soon. I guess, what, about 1k gold away?
Yeah, I don't even know, honestly, if it's worth saving for a buyback in this situation. Because I think your Hex is probably more important than you even having 2 lives.
Yeah, if you don't buy back, you're probably still not in a great position.
Yeah.
I mean, with Nature's Prophet, yeah, double Hex on the side.
Radiant's bottom
Could be a kind of a fight changer.
Oh, definitely. Like, Hexes are most often than not
tower has fallen.
the de facto items that can decide a game if they're used properly.
I mean, yeah, OD's going to get wrecked.
Yeah.
He's got no BKB.
Well, it's going to be OD or it's going to be Tiny, you know, if he gets caught out with vision. Because they have that gem on the puck. If he spots him out, throws out, you know, a coil Hex. Even if he BKBs, he has to either immediately TP away, because if he tries running, he'll just get coil stunned anyway, even through the magic immunity. But I think that no Diggity feel fairly comfortable. Like, when you see a team, like, farming this way, they have 3 people on the enemy side of the map, then they're farming their jungle at the same time. They're playing relatively efficient, where if you look at how at Finem are positioned, they're just sitting inside of their base. So if you're just sitting in your base, you're not getting any farm. Enemy team is farming. Roshan's up in, you know, under a minute. We have to find some opening if we're at Finem to do something. Because otherwise, this next Roshan is just going to go the way of no Diggity, and then we are basically back to square one. We have no map control. We have 1 outer tier tower remaining. The enemy team is out farming us. We are running out of choices.
And we saw before how no Diggity can quite easily turn around a Roche engagement. Koifa with the bots, the AC 3.5k on top. I guess next on his menu will be that Moon Shard. Unless he wants to go for the Silver Edge finish first, but I guess at this stage of the game, Moon Shards are going to be the more impactful item.
Yeah, Moon Shards are always solid. I don't know if he necessarily needs damage reduction or anything from Silver Edge either.
This is indeed becoming an increasingly hard game for the side of Finem.
Yep.
As we do keep saying. And it's kind of slowed down at this point as well. I mean, no Diggity, we know that they're feeling no pressure to do anything themselves.
Well, there's no reason to force it, you know? It's like, okay, we're going to see that Roshan's up. We can assume that there's probably a wolf in the pit. And if not, you know, it doesn't really matter. We can just go for it. The Tiny shows himself, but it doesn't really matter because he can just bot to Beastmaster Boar or the Hawk. That's another thing, too, about the Beastmaster utility that makes it really annoying. Because unlike the Furion split push, it's really hard for Ad Finem to kill the Tiny. He's got 3,000 HP and almost 30 armor with a BKB. Like, even the Lycan can't do that much to him.
Okay, they're going to go for a smoke. Roshan is up. Both teams well aware. Coming through here, and they know that they're smoked. It catches onto Niva's unit, but Koifa goes in. We'll get a hexed immediately. Moonlight Shadows, they try and retreat. Madara pots the BKB, but there's Kezu with the Roar, controlling this Lycan, and the damage from Koifa, bringing him down low, and they'll get the kill. Lycan's going to be gone, out for the count. Spartan as well, being kept alive momentarily by the false promise, but it's more than enough damage to pop through it. They'll get themselves a third. It's a triple kill for Error. And again, Finem trying to find someone with the smoke, but the arrow catching them out and the jump in. Koifa, no scare, no fear at all in the world, and he's into Roshan. This is going to be Aegis. It's also going to be a second cheese here for the side.
I guess when
My goodness.
you need 1 cheese for each hand, you know?
And Koifa He's been having an absolute game. We saw Tiny game 1. Great performance by the boys in Finem. This time it's going to be no Diggity utilizing it to its best. And it's kind of a turn on the tables. Game 1, it felt like there was a point where there was just no comeback potential for the side of no Diggity. In this game, well, Sin having a casual feed, but you know, we'll let him off. Skylark does pick him off here, but at this point, Finem, what do they got to do to bring this one back around? It's kind of bordering on impossible, surely.
Their team fight is not what I would call amazing enough to get like, you know, a big black hole or something crazy. Yep, so it's going to get coiled here. This is not a fight you want to take.
They roar out, and they've already lost Oracle. This damage from Era, it's the point where OD's just going around 3-shotting your cores.
Yeah.
4 dead, Madara's on the run. There's a buyback available from MP, but Koifa, he's already in position. He's ready to catch out the big power ball for the toss. Avalanche actually off point. So Madara's life is going to be spared. There's a buyback from the MP. I'll see if they can hold this, but so I don't know, Diggity, they've got everyone apart from Sind alive. And tier 3s are going to be falling in the mid lane. And Finem, they might have a bit of a chance for one final fight.
I don't know about that. Their base is dying really fast. That's a consumed Moonshard on Koikfa, and he's got Beastmaster Aura with Vlad's. He is just destroying their base.
Jesus.
Radiant's top barracks.
2 sets gone.
I don't think he can help them right now.
Just like that. I don't think so. 3rd set of wrecks. They'll look for it. 15 seconds without the puck. Finem, they're just going to go for it. They need to find some kind of a fight at this point. It's the be-all, end-all. And they're moving in, but at the same time, Era gets the Hex out to MNT. Goodbye, Oracle. Goodbye, Spartan. It's an absolute wreck of a fight here for the boys. And no Diggity do it. 33-19, they step it up in game 2 after a very disappointing game 1. And I think pretty much that the draft was the story here. We saw in game 1 a 28-minute victory there from Finem, very much the way that they like to play the game. Game 2, they tried again for a strat that needed to pull off the objectives early on. They couldn't break the high ground, and no Diggity, they out-farmed them and they outclassed them at the end of the day, and it was just the heroes that they had. There's pretty much no way that Finem could kind of hold their own at 44 minutes against the lineup of no Diggity.
Yeah, it reached its expiration date, unfortunately. And I think, again, it was just all down to the Roshan fight. Like, if the Furion had buyback and didn't buy back, that was so game-losing. Like, I don't know if he was, like, short on money or what. I would like to see if there was a replay for that. Because if he had buyback, I think there's no way you hold it. Because that fight gave no Diggity the tempo that they needed to continually control the game. And as you said, after, like, 30 minutes, it's a lineup of, you know, Finem doesn't win, then all of a sudden, okay, well, our heroes fall off. We can't split push with our Furion because there's way too much pick potential, and we can't win 5v5. We have no more way of ever winning this game after a certain point. So, unfortunate, but they did show that they have some stuff up their sleeves, so I'll be curious to see what else they're bringing here at the DreamLeague.
Yeah, absolutely. I see game 1, they obviously had their strats. Game 2, they certainly showed a lot of promise. I mean, they held on.
Yeah.
You know, no Diggity, there might have been a point where you say, Finem can't really come back, but Finem, they still made it. They made the side of no Diggity work for it. As you said, it'll be interesting to see more of both of these teams as they kind of warm up here on the first day of DreamLeague. That will be, of course, back for more. That's it for the games today. That's it from myself and Dreskel. But don't go anywhere, as we'll have another little segment there with the panel. Back over to Shiva, Slacks, and Wagger, and Fluffy, potentially. Or both.